It wasn't too bad towards the end.
I'm not sure.
I'm vice chair.
Okay, cool.
So
Okay, good. Thank you.
So, I call this meeting to order. We'll do roll call. I guess everyone just introduce yourselves to the better names. I don't have the list in front of me. So,
Dr. Lindsay.
Brian Hodges.
Jonathan Patrizia.
Ben Howe?
Then staff Carla Johnson.
Dan Chance.
All right.
Okay, Nyla.
So the minutes that we were all emailed, I assume everyone has had to take a look at those. Anyone have a motion to accept?
Motion to accept you.
Second.
All right.
Are they too much, is the question? I feel like I'm always typing too much.
No, it's good.
It's pretty straight at?
Yeah,
All right.
yeah, I'd rather have more information than none of
Okay,
that.
I try to make it bullet point per
Every
thing.
time I don't do extensive minutes, I typically regret it,
Okay,
but I also regret when I do it, so it's up to you.
like part of me just wants to bold the important 2 keywords in each paragraph and just leave it at that.
Well, you can still do that.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
More notes is better.
It was,
I thought your notes were fantastic.
All right, come on.
not having come to the last meeting, like being able to review, like read the minutes from was pretty helpful.
Okay, I will continue on the same course then.
All right, so vote to accept. All in favor?
Aye.
All against? All right, the ayes have it. The ayes have it, whatever. All right. I don't see any of the public, so we will move past the public comment period. So our Chief Information Technology Officer is present today. So we have a discussion there. I kind of assumed that since I didn't receive any feedback through email, that we would be working on paper today. Is that?
That's right. I still have the PDF from last
Got the
meeting.
print off, we can work off that, because I didn't bring anything, because I wasn't prepared.
I can go get PS now as well, again.
It might be for the best. More in my binder than I thought I did.
I was gonna say, switch.
It would be helpful, yes, thank you.
I think you emailed me, right, Brian?
I did.
Okay. So just filling out, I think you didn't forgot.
Was this like the framework thing?
Yeah, the wireframes.
Yes.
I think those got emailed out to you if you want, if you managed to. Take a look.
Do you guys have a printer down here that you put your number into or no? Okay, cool.
I can also pass the PDF from my phone to the TV if there's a way to do that wirelessly.
It should go on to the printer. Where is the printer? I'll take it. Is it in here?
So while we're waiting for the wireframes, which I don't think will have too much of an impact on the discussion, essentially what we are aiming for is a homepage, pretty much a one-pager. Basic, probably Bootstrap would be what we use.
I'm sorry, what?
Bootstrap would probably be the easiest way to implement it, but it sounds like Microsoft's going to be taking care of most of that, right?
Yeah, so everything's right now is hosted in Azure, so
Okay,
it's got a couple of databases. It'll have a web front end.
cool.
All the AI engine stuff is up there.
Cool, yeah, so it's gonna be a form to start, basic form, and then some info, hard links, so.
Yep.
Shouldn't be too hard to do. Microsoft's taking care of it. So are there any further limitations that have come up from that?
No, so essentially what the project itself was funded by Microsoft, is 15 grand with development, right? So what it'll get to is a proof of concept.
Yep.
So after the proof of concept, the tweaking, the front end forms, the back end forms, any of the logic changes, that's essentially we need to find funding for.
Okay.
I met with Sakib, who's the lead tech for a company called Granite, who they contracted with. It's a 5-week plan. We're in right now in week 3.
Okay.
I have the schedule here somewhere actually. Hold on, please. The development side of it's going pretty well. He demonstrated a couple things for me last week, which was pretty cool. So it was predominantly just the logic base. Like if I do this, then I do that. One of the concerns I had was, and I said, your notes were great. The video was really helpful. Was you guys had some questions about what the AI function is. Right? So the AI is actually, it does 3 things right now. One is essentially it'll identify whether the flag is AI created or not. Right?
Yeah.
And that's really just a checkbox. The second one is it scans for if the flag is similar to any other country, county, city, or state flag. And it'll flag that. And the last one is it'll flag for inappropriate flags. So what I had to do recently last week was I had to upload sample flags, both generated flags, which is what I did, and then inappropriate flags, and then see them roll through the filter. Right? And it was pretty cool. It's a checkbox. Essentially, it gives you the scale rating on if it's inappropriate, if it's not inappropriate, if there's similarities, if there's not similarities. So realistically, I think we spent a lot of time last week on saying, we want a final decision. You have a final decision. All the AI can do is advise you that like, this one looks like Ireland's flag or it looks like some-post flag.
Cool. Sure, yeah, that's awesome.
So power to you for sifting through all the. I've only heard of other people setting databases like that, like looking at way more stuff than they wanted to, and then just do the, unacceptable flags.
Yep. It was 100% fine. Like I said, going through the video to kind of try and pre-read the questions you guys were having, because I don't talk to you all every day, right?
Yeah.
That was super helpful.
Cool. So you mentioned dev is already in progress. So I assume they need a final design for the front end sooner than later, right?
No. So again, this is the proof of concept piece, right? So the proof of concept essentially, as I saw it, and there's not a final definition, but as I saw it, it was a form. It was, what information you want to put in, last name, first name, street address. The authentication piece is the street address at this point. So we will have to attach that somehow. I don't know honestly how, but I have this list from the GIS, the city's GIS of every street address here. So it'll have something to query against. Okay. What I uploaded 2 weeks ago was a sample of that. So they would have something to sample against. So I'm assuming it's a table that you can just blow stuff into. Essentially the process is the person enters in and authenticates, uploads their flag. Now at this point they've got the upload is 2 pieces. It's a vector and then it's a thumbnail. And the thumbnails are normal size thumbnails. The vector is the scalable piece you guys were talking about last week.
Yeah, it's going to be tricky to ask for 2 things because a lot of people might not.
I know.
Okay.
I think that's one of the things we're going to have to tailor down. Like you work with developers, they want that.
Yeah.
So we're going to have to go.
Ideally, for that, a single upload that would generate its own thumbnail.
Yep. Well, what I uploaded PNGs. So, and they seem to have worked. Again, that's not the final product, but that's, I think it's one of the versions that they'll ask for.
Yeah. Vector files are obviously the best for
scalability. We'll have you do that. We'll have you do this.
Wait.
You do all the vector files.
Yeah, vector files are needed.
Yeah, visual everything.
Yeah.
Start to finish. So anyway, the person uploads stuff. It rolls through the AI engine. The AI rates the thing on those three separate pieces. There's some warnings in there about inappropriate images. I think what happens is that they take the person who submitted its name, rate it, match the two, and then present that to you guys. If someone, like I uploaded the ISIS flag, if somebody uploads the ISIS flag, it gets flagged, they're not gonna get a warning.
Yeah, they should.
You guys will.
Right.
So there's that rating piece. One of the things he was working on last week was a gallery view, so it would show how many flags in the gallery view that you would want to roll through.
But they won't hit the gallery until, gallery for us to view, not for the public to view, right?
It's a gallery to view unless they're clean, right? So if the rating is clean, it's 100%. AI says it's clean. As I understand it, it goes right to gallery. If it's flagged in any way, shape, or form, it's kicked off to the side. You guys review it.
Sure. But the gallery itself still needs to be internal only. It can't be public facing.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, that was my impression too, is that like, we're only gonna put the 5 that people are gonna vote on, and then maybe we'll put some like honorable mentions about like school kids and fun stuff like that people will understand, like, okay, I understand why they didn't make the final 5. The last thing we want is like somebody being like, of the hundreds that managed to make the gallery, point to that one and be like, but no.
Yeah, when it comes to actual voting.
Yes.
Yeah. So let me ask you a question then. So the task force gets it down to the final 5.
That's right.
Oh, okay, cool.
So yeah, only a 5-image gallery. I think that's a lot more manageable than if we got hundreds of submissions. That'd be amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't get that from the initial. That's okay. So then we go to the voting side. As I understand the voting, and I heard the kind of conversation back and forth. I did some reading on it. It's the one-up vote. So essentially, if you've got 5, you have whoever votes picks. Is it 2 or 3, something like that?
You would rank all 5.
Yeah, you can choose as many as you would like.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then whichever the bottom one gets knocked off, the next one, or however, somehow the points get applied to the first and second.
Correct.
Your first and your second runner-up.
So as long as the website collects the data of how they distributed their preference, then we can take that data and manipulate it on our end and figure out the final winner. The website doesn't necessarily have to do that.
I mean, it might as well do it on its own.
Yeah. If you guys can program it, great.
Yep. All right. So again, what I saw the submission, I saw the AI generation through it. And again, this is all still wireframe stuff. It's nothing finished. And then I saw the review process. So if something got flagged, they reviewed it, you reviewed it. And then I didn't see the final voting side. I don't think they've gotten there yet.
Sure.
So that maybe this week or maybe next week. One thing that they asked for a couple of pieces. Let's see. Can the city confirm who will act as the designated human content reviewer, city staff to approve a rejected flag? City staff, you guys. Can the city team provide a jury up? Can the city provide an official AI generator? Yep. What they're asking for is a declaration page, and I think you guys already have that under wraps, right? So this is the contest. This is what you're doing.
Yeah,
This is
all of the
above.
yeah, we have that under mission and process. We don't have that text fully fleshed out yet, but we've got.
Those are the homework assignments. They don't have to be due just yet.
Yep.
The week 5 is going to be the full review. Week 4 will be the content review.
Okay.
Other than that, I think we're going to fly through this. It's not.
So if they're in week 3, that means we can get that ironed out next week.
Probably, yeah.
Okay.
Probably, yeah. And again, I don't know whether that goes, honestly, I don't know whether that goes into proof of concept or whether that goes into the final.
It can probably be placeholder text because it's not going to be a public-facing POC. It's going to be just internal for us to review, and then we can change text later. That's usually an easy change. So placeholder should be okay for that, but if they push back and say, hey, we need final copy, let us know sooner than later, and then we can have our resident attorneys do something.
I can't imagine that, because at the end of the day, one of the big sell points for this, for me, aside from the 15 grand for free, was the fact that it's all on city stuff. Like it's in our Azure environment, it's our environment. So any of the tailoring that needs to happen. Again, I'm not. I wish I could tell you more, but that's essentially that's where we're at right now.
I assume there's a content management system or something in the background.
It's not actually. It's
Oh,
not.
it's just-
Nope, it's 100% straight out of Azure. And it's actually really pretty cool from that perspective. Like the CMS that Nyla works on a regular basis is pretty solid. It's okay. This one is generally a little more difficult to work with, but probably a lot more anal.
Cool.
I have a few notes.
Yeah.
Just looking at the front end of the website, are we gonna provide a rubric for people and on how you, I guess obviously, like, whatever requirements for you guys figure out, yada, yada, yada. But as far as on the front end, how, like, people are gonna be judged, I think that should be clear.
Yep, that's gonna be under process,
Okay.
which is one line of filler
Okay,
right now.
okay.
Yeah, no, that's definitely something we wanna have in there. Both our criteria as well as the rest of the process.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, so this is just the outline, but the content is still,
Correct.
okay,
Yep.
alright,
Yeah, this is just my first pass at
yeah,
everything for feedback.
okay.
And some of the stuff that we touched on, I sent you a quick write-up just to the chair.
Okay,
So Super kind of gonna talk about it today,
Yeah.
but he's not here, but a lot of the things like, because we talked about, and you can talk about it more too, because I can know more about it, the idea of having, what'd you call it?
a toolkit?
Yes, thank you. He was leaning more against the idea of like supplying, like preferences
Mm-hmm,
to people, like, because we talk about color, because like we have city colors,
yeah,
but I guess the city colors come from this flag, he was kind of highlighting. So it's like things could shift. So he's like, he was leaning against, and kind of like more speaking on his behalf right now, he was leaning against towards having this toolkit and having like go-to seal images or go-to colors and
Mhm.
We
shapes.
generally have a less is more approach of
Yeah.
giving them, you know, as
Yeah.
wide open.
I think
as
you
like-
can, but I
yeah.
think just having a stepping point to
Yeah.
step off of.
Yeah.
If I have like
I do
a
agree.
reference point, to be like, oh, they do use these colors, or this is more of what they're aligned with, it kind of is a design,
And
you know?
that might actually fall in the history of all these sections.
Yeah,
that we
like
have.
an inspiration piece, you
Yeah,
So
know?
like imagery that we like, things like
Mhm.
that, because I'm a UI UX designer by trade, so
Yeah,
guardrails are helpful anytime you're designing something.
because
If
we
it's a
will
free
go
for
off the rails.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
free for all, just this is hard. Where do I start? But if you
Someone will
have
come with a portrait
rules-
flag, do you want a portrait flag? Does it have to be landscape? Like just things like that you have to think through, or you will get what you need.
A suggested like pixel by pixel or inch by inch, like a standard flag is X.
Yeah.
But you don't have to conform to that if you don't want to.
Yeah, 3x5.
Yeah.
foot.
Yeah.
I think I asked this question before, but are there any requirements to be in New York State?
Oh, I forgot, I didn't look at it. I don't think there's any,
Okay,
I was gonna say, when we were like drafting up everything, looking at onboarding, we didn't find, like,
okay.
so there could be, but I should write that down.
It would have to be an exceptional shape to not be a 3 foot by 5 foot though.
Yeah.
It would have to be like literally the most amazing thing I've ever seen to not vote for a 3 foot by 5 foot flag.
Like,
This has been talking about the beaker shaped flag.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like most of like the New York State's flag regulations are just more like it has to be displayed at certain times, and it has to be displayed.
Heights, yeah.
But that also may just be the New York State flag and not any flag. So also like for marketing, because we touch base on the idea of like, what does the winner get? And like kind of like having there be a component of a competition. So then we can also talk a bit more about like, does the winner get like a reception that the common council can host? Or at least just a resolution that doesn't cost money for them to write.
There you go.
Do that one, bring them in, and it's like them to like honor them and have. We do that one a lot, where like we bring people in, make a little proclamation, and they take pictures, and it's like it's exciting.
and make it something
Yeah.
nice to put on the wall.
I think
Yeah.
at minimum, like a press event, yeah.
Yeah. I have a signed letter I got from Kathy Sheehan, thanking me for my tireless lobbying about the potholes. I have that frame.
Not for nothing, I mean, it's a pretty big deal. right? So
Yeah.
why wouldn't you give them a framed flag?
Yeah, for sure.
That would
Yeah, that's
mean if you're gonna give them a proclamation, something to hold, this is
Yeah.
like-
Yeah,
Here's
I'm
the flag that
thinking
you designed.
Yeah.
not
And now
unlike the
we're-
military framed ones they give those folks. I
Shut
think
down.
a triangle folded one would be really nice, especially the design.
Or if it's one that can have in the house.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'd be kind of cool.
So, any other, I'm gonna go down the list here. Any other website things? It sounds like we're already very much in the thick of it. And it sounds like the voting part of it is the only part of it, for sure, that hasn't been fully solidified yet. But if you're going, I hate to say it, but that wiki page was basically
Yeah.
our best reference point.
Pretty much, yeah.
Well,
So-
and I understood it when you guys explained it.
Yeah.
So when I spoke with the developers, it was actually after the second revision of the contract.
Mhm.
I sent them that link. Boom,
Yeah.
there it is. And they said, yeah, okay, we think we can do this, so on and so forth. I think the only miscommunication may have been on my side, on your side, doesn't really matter, was that you guys are making the initial selection. Like,
Yeah.
that's fine.
That's right.
So 5 flags a whole lot easier than 250.
Yes. I figured it would be, yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, I think there would be a drop off in voter participation.
For sure.
Yeah, I don't think you get.
You get to
250 ranked
30
choice.
Yeah.
People are gonna vote for the top three.
Yeah, it'd be like that.
Yeah.
So I think on the data side, my concern is really people banging in their address, right? And I know that sounds silly, but I came from Troy where every road goes the wrong way. And some first abs and first abs are different animals. So I think that would be a concern from a grammatical perspective. I'm not sure if they can run stuff like that through AI.
So
We have the list of addresses, but
there are, usually they're paid APIs, but for the number of submissions we're gonna have, we might be able to get into the trial. One's called Melissa. It's it's the thing that a lot of e-commerce places use, where you type in your address and says, "Did you mean this?" And then it's your same address, but like in all uppercase with it
Sure.
formatted correctly for the USPS. Something like that might be a possibility. It wouldn't surprise me if somebody's already built an AI clone that just scrapes Google Maps every week
Right.
or something. Yeah, hard to know without knowing how strict it's going to be.
But honestly, I think, so taking the AI out of the equation, it's a computer, right? So if you say one first ad, you meant one first road. So you
Yeah.
say, nope, sorry, I don't know who you are.
Exactly.
So that's the main option.
And so I know we sort of discussed this too, is like, I don't know, maximum we get 250. And if it matches up, great, and it's green flag on the submission to us, wonderful. But even if you get a first road versus the first avenue and it red flags it, and then we only have to review, I don't know, 30 of those that didn't get green flagged,
Well,
like we could figure it out pretty quickly. Hey, did they mean this? You know?
didn't we, weren't we gonna let anybody submit?
Right.
It's the
Submit, but not
voting, it's
It's
the
just the voting
yeah.
that needs.
Right.
Address,
Right.
right, submissions in terms of.
All right. And then on the vote, I can see why it needs to verify right then and there.
Yeah,
When you guys were also talking about having a sign off, I am a resident of Albany. Click here.
for me, that would be enough, but for attorney purposes, it might not
I'm
be.
close. I think, I had to share, I'll go on for a minute, but I think the thing that amazed me is that we actually don't know everyone that lives here. We don't know everyone in the city. And I'm like,
It's not renters is the problem.
yeah, that's 100%.
Uh-huh.
Right.
You could be here for a month and gone, and no one would ever know.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But even on the voting side, same thing. It's like, we're gonna go back to the votes of how many do we expect to go through?
6,000.
6,000. I mean, that's significantly more. But like, if you had to remove, how many would be unacceptable, right? I just don't believe that this is probably gonna be a run. Who knows if it's gonna be a runaway or not? I just think that anytime you're limiting how many people are voting is what we're trying to avoid here.
Yeah. I get that.
So like, even if all the software did was they vote and the address gets put into a database and it flags it, yes, it matched or no, it didn't. And then we review the ones that didn't and say, all right, it was close enough to this, or we run through an AI bot, like you're saying, after the fact.
Yeah.
If that saves any production costs up front, I think that's
It's 100%.
it's helpful. Yeah,
Yeah,
right. because like we could figure it out. We could Google search between Google Maps and I don't know if there's 1,000 of them. We could probably bank it in one night.
You
We
get
could
a
figure it
little
out.
Google sheet and
Yeah,
like,
we'd
you're
figure it
responsible
out.
for X amount.
I'm just saying, like, I don't want a development cost of something difficult with addresses to push us back.
Right.
If we can put in some blood, sweat, and tears around the table verifying addresses for a night or two.
Yeah, I mean, the goal is to kind of lift a lot of that responsibility from you guys. So you
Yeah,
don't have
I
to
appreciate
take one-to-ones.
Yeah.
I don't know how much we can avoid. I don't know what your willingness is. Like I said, I'm pretty thrilled with how it's coming out so far. But when we get to the sticky issues, and authentication is the biggest one.
Yeah.
That's going to be a challenge.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Did the, are the developers in any, are they in the business of providing suggestions for things?
Yeah.
Okay.
If e-commerce solution sounds great, like if,
Yeah,
if Amazon and Walmart and everybody else can do it, like
Yeah, if they know of a tool that can do address validation out of the box that they can implement, I'm absolutely open to suggestions on that. I just know Melissa because that's what we've used at work, but I know there are other ones out there.
Very kindergarten there, but you can't just have people go submit your zip code as the authentication for you to submit and call it the day. Obviously, there's 2 zip codes that overlap with 2 different other towns, but like by then you could this is what
It depends on the level, right? So I think this is one of my early, when I went to the IT staff and said, how do we do this? That was kind of one of the first debates is, how important is it to you to actually get everybody 100%? Like, and that's really your call. Like, I have 0 invested on this one. That's your call to say, it's super important that we only let residents vote. And that's 100% okay.
I think it's part of the legislation. too,
yeah,
right?
it's part of the ordinance.
But it
yeah.
completely makes sense, I think. But in terms of just like, obviously you won't be, there's no system in place right now to verify every resident, but that way you could say that, within these zip codes, they 100% live in Albany. You got 80% of residents to vote, and that's completely verified. But yeah, I don't know, it seems a little bit easier.
I
Put
agree.
a zip code in and just go on with the day. And post it, and even in terms of voting, like if I'm voting someplace and they're asking for my address, it's like, I want to give you my address.
Yes, I would
Yeah.
rather remove any barrier
Mhm.
to voting if possible, but
Another
we're
note.
gonna have pushback from other members of the team,
Mhm.
of the committee on that. Because,
Sorry, go ahead.
no, just because it's in the legislation that voting has to be limited to all the residents. So for me, okay, we do our due diligence, we do our best to keep it to all the residents. To me, that's good enough, but there are people who read it by the letter and say, okay, it has to be only local residents, how do we do that?
Mhm.
Short of having people upload their ID, which I don't want them to do,
Yeah.
verified.
Yes. Another note I would do is a dynamic QR code. So the water department sends out water bills. Obviously, it's not for every resident, it's for every property owner, which is completely different.
Yeah.
But that way you can start tracking the number of scans that are happening via that QR code, and that way all these people that have access to the website portal through this link is 100% out Albany resident versus other ways. And in that way, if you're at an event, like you could have people like Taylor, like, hey, these Albany residents can't hear, non-Albany residents can't hear. Like you could kind of curtail it.
We're also exploring like geolocation of IP addresses, which is not super accurate, but might be tricky. Or if they're on their phone, we can use location services. That would be exact, because it would be GPS. But if they're not going on the phone, it would be trickier. And also that just says, okay, they're in the city. It
Doesn't necessarily
mean they're a resident.
Mhm.
Yeah. So it's a hard one.
Yeah, I mean, something we could, and I do get what you mean about how much like certain members of the team would be concerned about receiving votes from residents or not. But like we could theoretically do the zip code thing, and then even if there are like those 2 zip codes that like have outside Albany addresses on, we could just like look at back end, like okay, we're just looking at the votes from the zip codes with these submissions and see is this person an Albany resident or not? And if they're not an Albany resident, just throw out their vote so they're not participating in the election in a meaningful way.
Yeah.
I mean, like, there are people who vote in elections who aren't, like, either do their paperwork incorrectly or aren't actual residents, and their votes get thrown out too. Like, those elections are still valid. So I think like the zip code one is a compelling one, like in terms of like, if it simplifies our authentication still through our own practice, ensure that it's only Albany residents voting in effect. I think that's like an option.
So Jamie, to fill you in.
Yeah.
One of the bigger sticking points, not necessarily just with dev, but in general, is how do we authenticate people as Albany residents? I know we discussed putting in the address, but then we have the issue of, okay, if they fat finger it and they type in their address wrong, or they type it in a way that doesn't exactly match a database, will the notice of rejected even though it would otherwise be valid? And it's how strict do we have to be calling it Albany residents vote, or
Okay. And one of the suggestions was, go ahead and allow them to bang it in there, and even if they screw it up, let it pass through, and then there's a human review afterwards. So if I typed in First Street, and it's really First Ave, you guys can go through the list of ones that were rejected or set aside and say, oh, that's right, no. Or that's Meridian, why is there somebody living in Meridian? You know?
I've just noticed, like, I just bought something on B&H and it knew my address because I put 47 Twiller, blah, blah, blah. It knows it.
that's the list of address validation.
That's your pen. Thank you.
Yeah, so that's another vote for address validable vote.
The only downside is that's a cost. It's generally a cost.
Yeah, there's a cost associated with that third party system. Yeah.
Okay.
Unless something is a free one that they license, but that would take research, and I don't know where that would be. And then also just the barrier to entry of people not wanting to put their address in, and that would reduce the number of votes is an issue.
Sure.
So,
you know where we're going next?
we're kind of in the middle of
Okay.
agenda items 5 and 6.
Okay.
Just discussing everything that needs to be discussed.
Sweet.
What if we give Dan two options to move forward with? Is A, if we can do the address verification using some sort of AI tool, say, did you mean this? Great. Then that'll match the database more closely and we'll get really close. Or B, we suggest the zip code with like the simple attestation box that we suggested before. I swear I live in Albany. I'm voting, not in Malice or whatever, and go from there. So I think the zip code does, to the letter of the ordinance, satisfy it, but I also know that it's like not anywhere near as restrictive.
Yeah.
One city system that we do have. So the rec department has a system that recently got changed. I don't know the name of it, I apologize. But basically every resident that uses city pool must be verified as a city resident and must be. So all of those people within there are verified as Albany residents. What you could do is, I think, asking for their zip codes. If their zip codes fall outside of the 3 zip codes in the city of Albany that fall, there's one zip code that we share with Manans, one we share with Colony, and another one we share with Villain, I believe.
Yeah.
Those 3 zip codes get flagged and gets cross-referenced with our civic rec system.
Right.
That's also an added option. And that way you can even add a note that, hey, if you are in zip codes X, Y, and Z, you must be registered to civic rec website in order for your vote to be counted. And that could be in lieu of.
Forget you can't swim in the pool without giving your address up.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, yeah.
But you must be a city resident.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, it's 03, 05, and 11.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah.
So there's 3 zip codes that fall outside the city that have a.
They
all
Shared,
share,
yeah.
Okay. That's good to know.
all the Rossville people that think they're in Albany all the time.
Not all.
So would that be something that we could, if we got the voters who are from those three, the system could identify those
Right from
zips
the registry.
and then separate it?
Yeah, so we're talking about two different animals, right? I think, I'm just here to repeat that what I heard, right?
Sorry.
So you've got the website,
Yeah.
where the resident banks in their address. Then you've got Civic Plus, where the resident registers for pools.
Right.
Those two systems are never gonna talk, right? But what could happen is maybe you have the folks that, this one said, on my list of addresses, this doesn't exist. I'm gonna flag these 50 people. Right?
Yeah.
Maybe you get an export of that and you can run it against the plus.
Yeah. I think that's really doable, right? The task force we would already have our votes in, so we could spend the time, we had to divvy it up to just verify those couple of people, Like we keep saying, in the big scheme of things, something like 15,000 people voted in the mayoral election. So how many people are we actually going to get to participate in this? If we're at, I don't remember, we had that snow plowing, there was a snow plowing contest at some point.
It was like naming a plow.
Naming a plow.
Yeah, something.
And then they had, I think Liz said something like between 6,000 to 8,000 people participated. So if we're now able to narrow down to 3 zip codes, it seems really doable to validate
Yeah,
from a human perspective.
yeah, as long as
So that kind of solve that
from
problem.
a letter of the law perspective, being okay with not putting in a full address to verify residency.
Well, they're gonna put their address in, and then those 3 zip codes
Well,
be separated, and we just verify their houses, like in Loudonville, it's in
well,
Albany.
I think that's what we're debating is, do we do full address or do we do just zip code? Because zip code would be less personal or less information to give, and it would be way easier to validate on the computing side than the full address, which would need a separate tool to essentially cross-reference things.
Well, as a body, we already said last time.
Addresses, yeah.
Memorialized it with a vote that we're gonna use the address, and the ordinance says city of Albany residents.
Yeah.
So we're doing the best we can to follow the ordinance.
And I think we all want to do the street address, it's just a matter of viability with the website. Yeah. At least that's where I'm leaning now.
Yeah, like I said, I have a spreadsheet that has every address in the city of Albany.
Yeah.
100%. We can blow it up there.
Yep.
As long as what you type in matches what that says, you're good, unless we pay for that API side. Or we just kick them to the side and say, some of these will really validate these, which is also a possibility. So you really kind of have a couple of choices.
or
The low cost one from a dollars and cents perspective is to just kick them to the side and you guys validate it.
or is there AI, but would AI be able to compare the list and kind of take the human factor into account of do they match even if they don't?
It might be able to, I don't know. Like I said, I think what we're talking about though is a development cost. Either way, that's gonna be outside of the scope, because I think the scope says, give me your list.
Right.
Yeah.
There you go. So the testing and testing and validating is probably going to be an additional cost. I don't know that, but that would be my guess.
And we're not cross-referencing names with address, right? It's just the list of the, okay. Yeah. Should be okay as long as it's not case sensitive. People get close.
I think case sensitive isn't gonna matter. I think what's gonna matter is like whether it's First Street or First Ave, or it's FIST versus one.
Yeah.
And that was where we got tripped up in Troy, was there's 100% that.
Yeah.
Whatever, yeah.
Yeah.
Alright. Yeah.
Like I said, if even if the list is 500, how quickly could we personally bang
Yeah,
through
exactly.
it? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
I think we
similar.
get pretty close to banging through it fast.
Yeah, similar to talking about reviewing the zip code ones.
Yes.
Also reviewing this one was entered incorrectly and saying it's like.
Oh, they use the number 1 instead of FIRST.
Yeah, that seems reasonable.
Can I ask a question? What other information are you guys requiring when people vote? Are
So
they
then
gonna
that's what I thought would be the
like-
hotter topic was the
So.
age, right?
Yeah, age we're asking for because there's some law about, collecting information on people younger than 13, I believe.
Mhm.
So people who submit would have to either have parental permission or be over 13.
Okay,
So that's what we're collecting age. Otherwise, this first name, last name, address, email, phone number, so that we can contact them if they win.
no, so this is for the voting.
Oh, for voting, voting, I don't even think we need age for voting. Then, right?
That's
So it's
one of
just
the
address.
topics that we have, are we gonna allow minors to vote, we're gonna allow minors to submit, that's in our
Yeah,
list here. I don't think that's been nailed down yet, but obviously address, name and address is, what the task force is determined.
do they need to put their name in for voting? Is there any reason you need that at all? Could it just be their address?
I think you might get a little more submissions if it was just address as opposed to.
Yeah, less information to collect.
Yeah.
But, when,
One person per day for 24-hour period.
And if you have 4 in your household,
I was about to say that, is
Yeah.
how do you do, if we're doing just address and not doing name, then how does that not prevent multiple people in one household voting?
That's true.
Yeah, so we agreed that it was one submission every 24 hours. I wasn't sure how we were determining if it was a 24-hour day or 24 hours from when they last voted.
24 hour day.
I would say,
So it's a per day.
just from a
Something you
commonality,
can do.
Yeah.
That's possible.
I can ask.
Yeah.
I mean, essentially, you just put a timestamp next
Yeah,
to it.
makes sense.
reference it.
I had a question between the submission, I think we want to, I guess I kind of want to know how many months will it be until we can start to take on submissions?
So the proof of concept is going to be done in 2 weeks.
So this is scheduled, they say that we're in week 3 and that it goes to week 5.
Proof of concept should be done in 2 weeks. Review, play around with it, make a decision whether you want to do some more development on it. Again, what I was saying that before we got here was, the good news is we own all of it. Like, they're developing in our environment, it's our stuff, right? So if we choose to go with Granite, if we choose not to go with Granite is the subcontractor. If we choose to go with them, that's great. If we don't, that's fine. If we do it internally, I honestly don't have anyone on my staff that can do it, to be quite frank. I know you've done some web stuff, like, it's not rocket science, but I think when you start changing the logic, that's when it gets difficult.
But from the website that Brian created to just accepting designs.
Yep, so the website that you created is essentially, it's just gonna be a link. It'll be a link right to the submission portal.
Okay.
The submission.
That we can, when can we launch that without the AI detection and all that, without any of that stuff? Just accepting designs. I think the task force would just like to know about when we can launch ourselves.
So let's get through week 5 and see what you say,
Okay.
all right? I think that, like, I could throw a date out there, but I don't know what you guys think of what the final product is gonna be. You may say this is crap and I don't like it, right? It's always a possibility.
Yeah, I understand, but if we don't get the budget request and we don't get any money, can we still use the portal that Brian designed and accept designs so we can launch our project while the summer's coming? Obviously we're gonna talk with you more about marketing this, and I just don't want to push all the way till the fall. But
It's gonna be ready in 2 weeks. Like, you guys take a look at it in 2 weeks and then make the call one way or another. So I'm sure that you can just do the submissions, right? That's not a problem. You can probably
That's
do the
what
voting
I
stuff.
want to know. Can we do the submissions and then pull back on whether or not we get any kind of funding to?
Let's wait 2
Bye.
weeks. Let's wait 2 weeks and find out, right? So I don't mean to blow you off. That's not my goal, but putting it on the table right now that you can absolutely do that would be not a responsible answer for me, because I'm not in the development.
Well, I just don't know if they're going to say, oh, no, you have to spend this money before we take the submission.
Nope.
That's what I'm trying to find out.
No, there is no additional cost. Right now, what we have paid, which is essentially the cost of the environment, which is $130 a year, I think, a month, is essentially the only cost that you'll encumber if we stop at 5 weeks. If you go on, maybe there's no cost, maybe you get a different development people, maybe you guys do it yourselves, right? Whatever, that's fine. But if you stop at 5 weeks, there's no cost.
All right. You have more questions for Dan?
Not really, but, seems like we're in good shape.
Because I laid it out so well.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, thanks for coming.
I love
Yeah, it's okay. It's a beautiful day outside, so I was wondering. It's your second time here.
I can go out, but y'all go up.
Interest of time, do we want to run it right into 6 for marketing citywide and like how we could do in-person events?
Well, yeah, we're just finishing up with Dan,
Sorry.
but
That's fine.
he's not going, so.
I can go wander around. It's your call.
Whatever you want. No, you've got good ideas. Stick around if you want.
Sure.
Yeah, so, Nyla, we are looking for other ways that we can engage the community. One thing that we kind of tossed around was a kiosk with some sort of voting system for in-person events. Be it an iPad that somebody's standing next to, or a QR code that points people towards it on their phone. Does anyone have more background on that?
Yeah.
I guess just like who do we have to talk to so that we can show up at a live at 5 with a kiosk and say, hey, here's our banner, here's a QR code. We appreciate you taking a look at this, where we're at so far.
Funny enough, so live 5 is gonna be announced tomorrow at 10 a.m. There's no problem if you guys are on the table. I can set that up easy. One thing I do have to note, it's about what, 6 of you total on this task force? 7 of you guys. So it's a little bit of you guys. In comparison to how many events happen in Albany. So my recommendation to you guys, and I'm so sorry for using the word toolkit again, but creating a toolkit for people, especially city employees, so that when they're at tables, they can go ahead and amplify what you guys are doing. One of the things I talked to Carly about, which would be really cool, sort of have like a bucket, concrete, a slab with the flag attached, and asking people literally like, what would you imagine this flag to be, and like have it be everywhere, and something like that to like live at Washington Park for the entire summer, and you guys don't even have to touch it.
Right.
We could also, I could set up QR codes as well, and kind of like track how much time that specific QR code gets scanned. So like we could say, hey, this is this area, we got this much scans, we need to do more activations or less activations or whatever the case might be. Your businesses are also your best. I would have sort of like printouts of the community buildings that they have from business to business. Those get a lot of traction. And I would also like to lean on systems that already exist. For instance, Metroland does their thing every month or so. You could easily talk to Aaron. I could easily talk to Aaron and have something in there where like it gives a printout that she puts into everyone, but like everybody has it. The biggest thing for you guys is like visibility, especially in these next couple of months. We can set up press conferences. We can have the mayor involved or less involved as you guys would like. And yeah.
Cool. Could you have a stand-up pool theoretically, like you're talking about having like a little sign at Washington Park, having something,
Yeah, you could do that. Lincoln Park pool, like in any of the city properties or entities, I have no problem displaying it there. I have different email lists. I have an email list right now about 12,000 for the mayor, but also if you wanted to, like, obviously everyone registered Civic Work needs his email address. If you wanted a specialized email to go to those players, you could do so. Also looping in the water department and the treasury department, they send out mail. You could easily print something on the back of tax bill so that everybody has a copy of it. Just talking about how to get to actual residents as opposed to just people. Door hangers always helps, and we could leave the neighborhood specialists. They're very helpful as well because they go to event to event to event. But it's really just setting, I think, city workers up for success because obviously not everybody lives to be at table at all times. So if they have all the information, it's kind of like, here you go, email address, email here if you have any questions, and you kind of call it a day. Yeah, Alive 5 is coming up, Dad Fest is coming up, Art on Art is coming up, Memorial Day Parade is coming up.
Yeah, so this is, I don't know if you ever, these, we have them all over work, so those
yeah.
are the things I'm familiar with.
Yeah.
I know it's, not permanent, so you couldn't leave it in Washington Park, it would take,
Yeah.
but, I had just buzzed around and I know how much we love AI, so I,
Yes.
kind of took that flag design that, you had, made up, what do you call it, create, Tanner, yeah.
Mhm.
So then we tried to
No, this is perfect.
buzz something like that.
I would just kind of like, with this stuff, especially with this one that you put, that retractable banner,
Yeah.
it doesn't lend itself to outside. The second it's wind, it kind of like falls over. It's very dangerous in that realm. It's not heavy. It kind of like only go indoors for this.
Okay.
But if you got a 5-gallon bucket from Home Depot, filled it with some concrete, put a pole in, and a literally attached an Albany flag to it, or even this design to it, that could live in Washington Park for the entire summer and you never have to touch it.
Yeah, it's just all about money.
Yeah. I mean, Home Depot and a trip with concrete might be cheaper than $44.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the sign part.
Yeah, the sign
that's
part.
the
Yeah.
part, yeah.
It was like everything was like $20. I think it was.
The idea being that the QR code is hard, so when you take a photo of it, it's
Yeah.
flopping.
Yeah.
We can make a hard QR code that we can attach to a cheaper banner.
Mhm.
That part is.
There's certain workaround. It also, I think, gets you a little more solid numbers if you guys identify certain locations you guys would want it in. Like I'm thinking Washington Park. I'm like big areas.
Wherever you've had success marketing city things in the past.
So Albany is a city, but it's not a real city, I have to say. So you're really gonna have to go to places that really dense in area, just dense in general. So it's really your events or your go-tos. And Park State Plaza is gonna start their summer concerts soon. I would put them in. The CHPHP workforce run is coming up. It's really events, because like otherwise it's like it's an empty street and something just standing there. Unfortunately. Unfortunately. So that's why really I feel like your grassroots efforts is really we're shine, because like everybody stops at the store or goes to Lucky for daily grind or goes to Hershey's or whatever the case is, and it's gonna stop and see it. Yeah, and to print out cardstock 4x4 is gonna be little to no cost.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Is there like a signed department? Like, is
There is traffic engineering.
Yeah.
I could talk, obviously you're going through a little budget crisis right
Yeah.
now. So I could talk about what those costs are, and that's why if you identify certain locations or even a certain number that you guys would like, I could see if they can eat those costs up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But printing on sheet metal is expensive. Yeah. And you probably would want sheet metal if it's gonna live outside for a long period. But there's definitely ways you could obviously print in-house as well. Like you could print it off, laminate it, and call it a day. But yeah.
And what's the easiest way to submit stuff? I mean, we've already got a couple designs kicking around of like how soon should we start sending you stuff to get the approval process going and all that.
I just need numbers at this point, like numbers and sizes. So what you guys would consider this size to get printed at, and how many you guys decide to get printed at, and then I could talk to
give us some numbers. Yeah.
We have a certain contract with a few printers outside of City of Albany as well, so it's see if we have a discount on there as well.
Okay.
Camelot, Modern Press. I like Modern Press better than Camelot.
Camelot Brothers cookies.
They're more of a cookie shop than a printer shop, if you ask me. Their cookies are superb. Their printing jobs are subpar.
So I gotta throw this in, just as, if you're looking at QR codes, the concern with QR codes, so I used to work at the City Center for Disability Services, and they were in the process of implementing Workday. And one of the things with Workday is self-registration. So they sent out a ton of QR codes, put QR codes everywhere. The QR codes were replaced by Joe Hacker Guy with a little sticker, and it redirected them. So there was actually a dozen folks that had their payroll stolen. So I wouldn't discourage it. I would just say if you're going to do it, put it on something that is very firmly Albany. Like not a piece of paper, but something like a flag or a banner or something.
This is also a lot lower stakes than that. So we won't have people getting their payroll stolen from phishing, but.
Not sure though. So like I said, at the end of the day, if I scan it with my phone and it installs something on your phone, it's not your responsibility now, but it's mine, right?
It's true.
Just
definitely short link it as well. I definitely would urge a
Sure.
short link to be on there.
Yeah.
Just in case people are driving by and doesn't have time to scan.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then obviously we could also talk to, we have certain partners around. So like more digital ads. So the Capitol Center has a digital ad out there. Talk to Albany Parking Authority about putting ads out as well. Even the Palace are partners as well. So if we wanted to put something on their marquee, we can. Yeah. But things like that.
Not for nothing. Could it just be albany.newyork.gov/flag?
Yeah, it can be.
Perfect.
Yeah. It definitely can be.
What's the actual domain for like the website?
Albany.ny.
No, it's albanyny.gov.
Okay, all right, it's still hosted by the same. Okay, just one.
This is weird. I'm not sure if it's a conflict of interest or ethics question, so this is more directed to Carly. But it would be kind of cool if I'm just leaving out of Tulip Wall, so I'm in a sponsorship mode. But could it be like hypothetically Modern Press presents Albany flag redesign so that all the printing costs they take it up because every time we print something, it's going to have their logo on it. It's a sponsorship opportunity. They could eat up all the printing costs for you guys as opposed to you guys having to redo it.
That's definitely something to consider.
It might not be a presented by, but a
Powered by.
or banner donated by.
Yeah.
Specific to that instance rather than the entire competition.
Okay.
Is there do that?
Yeah.
Especially if they are going to be printing and selling flags for future use, like that would be the sponsor I would go after. Got clearly vested interest in getting the design first and putting it out to market.
I don't think that's the way that works, because it's gonna have to go for a huge RFP to print every flag. It's a flag design, like Gettysburg Flag Works is Greenbush, like that's more of a, not a printer, a flag manufacturer.
Right.
And then I guess that could get into conflict of interest. If there's one company that's donating and another one's not, in the contract.
Not necessarily. There's vendors and there's sponsors. Certain people get paid, some people eat up those costs via sponsorship.
Right, but if they want to get in the running for the printing of the flag itself.
Yeah, that would definitely, but you guys are gonna be charged with the RFP process.
No, that's
Yeah.
correct.
Yeah, so I think in that round, the city would be the ones,
Right.
choosing that RFP.
That's fair.
Mhm.
So we've got all these great channels to get the word out. What's the process for us to collect stuff and send it to you? Like,
Yeah.
other than just,
I will, well, when I finish leave here, I'll grab my card and make sure I'll have my email.
Okay.
But as soon as this source gets solidified, we come up with more of a solid plan with dates and timelines. Between myself and Robert Berkler in our office, we'll be pushing that stuff out. But like, if it's like, hey, email, we can start easily with like email, socials, pushing out the website and then the grassroots stuff. If you guys align it correctly, I could get the Office of Cultural Affairs to also give out a 4-up card or whatever grassroots when they promote Alive at 5 and That Fest, because they do flyers anyway.
I think we need to get our marketing copy down first.
But even, sorry,
No.
with these events coming up, even if you guys wanted to like build the front page where you guys are just collecting
coming
emails and coming soon, and then that way when it drops, like you already have the bandwidth, because there are events coming up and you don't want to lose that momentum.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I'm trying to figure out when the
the submission,
Mhm.
will be coming.
That's
Might
signing
not
up.
be live,
Yeah.
try and get it all out.
Yeah,
Just sign up for that. That's
Mhm.
good.
because
Step.
you would want that anyway, because voting hypothetically doesn't start until next year, right?
Is there existing email collection apparatus in the city of like join a newsletter here for the Albany city?
Yeah, there's infrastructure that
Could
exists,
we
yes.
piggyback that if you're interested in participating in the flag? Submit your email here.
Okay, I'll just have to build that out for you, that's
Okay.
no problem.
Yep.
Mhm.
That sounds great. Because then we could do that first wave of marketing, like we're saying, of like,
Yeah. like
if you're
that makes
interested
sense.
in X, submit your email here and we'll send you more information as soon as we've got it.
So, like an email?
Yeah.
Like an email being like, hey, like we
Sign up
now
for
launch our
it.
website, like check it out, like that, those kind of things.
You'll be
Like,
notified when it's live.
Yeah.
Type of vibe.
That's the starting point. And then I think we're considering having that kind of stuff out before our next meeting, yeah?
What's that?
Would we be considering getting all the marketing stuff to Nyla before next meeting
No,
with?
probably not, because we're gonna figure out from Dan when this stuff's gonna be submitted, when the
Well, no, we can have
website is gonna be launched.
We can have just the initial, like, put your email in here, sign up for the mailing list, we'll let you know when it's
Right.
live stuff. We can do that
Yeah.
now. We don't need to wait there's no timeline from when we.
Yeah,
I don't wanna have a false start where we put out all this stuff and we might not know that we can't take submissions for, 3 months. We might not need to have money involved. I think we're putting the cart a little bit before the horse. I think we're here to get a lot of information. Certainly take your email. I think we'd have a person just speak with you directly from the voice of the task force once we have everything squared away on exactly what it is we're gonna be saying to the public.
Mhm.
That's just my take. I know Liz, she really wanted to be at the meeting. She is super creative. I've spoken with her about marketing parts of this and to take maybe more of that role in being the liaison because she's so creative and she's made a few flag design posters. I've been going back and forth with her. She's been really helpful in helping to get as far as we've gotten. Those posters that I was going to present to the committee today, just to get some kind of idea of where we're at in terms of the marketing, from a marketing standpoint. But if you certainly want to create verbiage, put it in an email or whatever, I think that
We're not sending emails, we're letting people sign up for mailing lists, so that when we do have something.
right, and whatever it is we're telling the public from a collective voice, we need to put down.
So you need to get the initial copy down that
Yeah.
says, this
Yeah.
is what it is, this is what, if you're interested.
Yes,
this is what-
I don't want 5 different people emailing Nyla, 4 different
Yeah.
versions. So we need to come up with a unified voice, then speak with her about what it is we're saying to the public or inviting them to sign up for more information or whatever the case may be. That's all I'm trying.
Absolutely, with you on the one voice part, and everything will come together in one spot first before we send it to Nyla.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think just in the next, I don't know, maybe I'm just excited to get going, is in the next month and a half, even if it says waiting for us, website name here on the copy, like we could get all the way to that point, so as soon as the website's ready to go, you plug and play, and then we're ready to hit the ground running.
Yeah, so this past weekend, what you call it, instead of a silent auction for the World Tulip Ball, we did a store for the mayor, basically. There's an artist who did a graphic appropriate thing of her, and we were like, okay, we're gonna sell prints of it. We don't have them yet. What we did was, we had people sign up. Hey, you'll be the first ones to know about it when it drops. Like, hey, you get first exclusive access kind of vibe, so that we do get this email sign up. So when it does drop, we're able to automatically send it to them. Also, just things to think about. So every first Friday, there's programming that happens around City of Albany. The Cultural Affairs also puts on programming. One cool programming idea, to have a kid come in here and design a flag. I think press will come in for that. You could use it as a stopping point, and it's a way to.
Yeah, we threw around the idea of pitching it to schools as something that.
That's how our logo was designed,
Yeah.
by a student in Steve Rose.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Cool. So it sounds like our next step as a team is to come up with some marketing copy for a initial coming
Email.
soon.
Yes,
Email.
yeah.
For an email and then also the designer toolkit, right? That's the way you're
That's,
talking about
that's a good
for
one, not,
submission.
not
Yeah.
designer toolkit, marketing toolkit, so that we can hand it off to people who are not us, and they can answer basic questions or refer to
Yeah.
us if need be.
Mhm. Makes sense. Yeah, but I would even put a little Q&A in there with most frequently asked questions. So it's sort of like, hey, like, how do submissions? How are the submissions graded? How are they? Like, there's a question people are going to ask the people there. So just giving them the language to respond.
Mm-hmm.
So some sort of outdoor proof signage to be determined.
Mhm.
And then probably like, I like the idea of those 4x4 cards with or pamphlet really, because then you get a couple more Q&A things in there.
Yeah, yeah.
And obviously we print off, box of them and send them anywhere that they need to be.
Mm-hmm.
Are we thinking anything besides the large format signage and like the pamphlet / smaller handout? That would go in that toolkit. Like what else normally goes in a toolkit for a program?
Or it's really the language, the Q&A. You would have the website in there, have your contact information in there.
Basically, think about it as if you were somebody just stacking the table about something you didn't know about.
Yeah.
What would I want to know?
Mhm.
So yeah, with the frequently asked questions.
Yeah.
Then obviously our whole mission is just to point them to a website to start submitting once it's available.
Mhm.
And then let them know, eventually there will be a vote. Yeah. Okay.
So, John, try and find an outdoor sign, like without, so you're gonna talk to, the traffic.
Yeah, I'm
and see
gonna
about that.
engage
See what we
10
can get.
at about 18 by 24. I'm gonna go from there.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Without a budget, I don't know. I'd love to be able to print a million,
Yeah.
flyers. It's just,
What can we do for free?
yeah. And maybe we can work together on seeing whether or not we can get sponsored by or powered by.
And without the IT guy, I could print some stuff in here for you guys.
At least get us started. Awesome. Let's get us started.
I think that's too, the email collection is like a good
That is a
low
business
cost way to get the word out.
Just starting.
Yeah.
Obviously the printing seems like it could happen in-house. Are we like not allowed to if we just want to submit our own and pay with our out-of-pocket cash, like to get 3 banners to have 3 toolkits to go over to the events, like, I don't know, if it was like $35 a piece, like, I'd be willing to give $100 to have 3 toolkits to get this thing going, What's the legality of that? Like,
The problem with banners is banners aren't.
I know, the
$5.
website.
They're probably like, if you're looking at a banner stand, it's probably like 300 for one. Printed on vinyl.
Yeah.
That's why I want to have conversations with traffic engineering, and you guys can talk about. We could talk if you want. I could help come up with a sponsorship copy. What they ask.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
I'll
That way.
check in with the lawyer, because I'm not sure. There's also like a lot of things that like the
Mhm.
mayor's office can do as an executive that like the common council is blocked by certain,
Yeah.
lots of things.
Yeah.
All those events, like, I don't know, I work in Municipal hospitality, we have banners that go outside, but it's like a super heavy bottom weight, and it's only 12 inches by 42. So it sits on top of a countertop, but it's not like the huge 3 foot by 5 foot ones you're talking about that
Yeah.
the wind always carries over,
Yeah,
because it's got
yeah.
like this 25-pound weight at the bottom.
Yeah.
And I think if you're under a pitch up 10, those tend to do okay.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Worst case scenario, it's not a hard lift to get up.
Yeah, and especially when we get to the voting stage, I think like it can get real funky and fun, right? Like you go to a restaurant and there's like the table tent vibe happening. You can literally leave it at. And restaurants are like whatever, what do you have on the table is fine, whatever. So like literally have them in there and everywhere. Especially like in coffee shops, your Dunkin's, everywhere. Lawn signs are helpful as well. Stuff like that.
Anything big and physical is the cost. Again.
And you would want to go into places where residents are. right? Like, if I go to Crossgate, I might not catch every Albany resident, but if I go to Market 32, yes, I will catch Albany residents.
They
Like,
live
that's
close,
the
yeah.
locations you kind of want to go to. And I would also argue, like, we could talk to you all about getting some interns to get involved so that you guys don't have to do it and
The
be
street crew.
tabling everywhere, you know?
Yeah.
Like, why not? Like, I mean, and for Denver cops, you know, like, hey, I helped, like, pick a municipal flag. It's like a great selling point. But why not use, you know, free labor? Mhm.
So I think maybe get the library involved.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely, the library.
Sounds like we always use marketing copy.
Yes.
So we have to list.
And I would, sorry, just brainstorming here. I would think very weird, like, I don't say weird, very obtusely as well. Like, partnering with Albany Center Gallery to do a movable frame. Their summer
Great
art.
idea.
Yeah, right?
Fantastic idea.
Their summer art festival's coming up, so maybe it's like we could talk to Tony about doing a flag, if you will, with something, and then everyone's designing it, so it's like this big community flag. I'd like something, so like, but the word consistently getting out there that you guys are redesigning the flag, you know? Mhm.
And who's this?
Tony Iliaso he's the executive director of Albany Center Gallery. So yeah, he's doing a summer art festival. It's the second one. He's doing it under by Kathy Wish.
Okay.
And it was a great turnout last year. So I imagine the same for this year.
Yeah, just thinking about the Albany Tool, what is it called? The Albany Tool Warehouse. Where you can
Oh, the historic.
Historic, do they have an art, don't they have an art show or something?
Historic Foundation, they have the Built art show.
Built, yeah.
Yes, yeah. I would get them in as well. What did I just think about? Probably do some programming at Albany Art Institute. They would be fun. Talk to South End Children's Cafe about doing a chalk sidewalk. But like, what I've noticed since being in the marketing of Albany is just like residents. You could put information out there over and over and over again via your traditional channels, but unless people feel it and see it, it kind of doesn't register into your long-term memory. Funny enough, I find that kids are your easiest conduit. Like, you know, because if I'm a parent that I'm here for my kid, I want to see what my kid is getting involved with. But just think about like weird, I'm saying weird, but obtuse ways to market. You're not traditional channels. The Palace Block Party's coming up. That might be a good one. Yeah. If I think of anything else, I'll write it down.
All right. Well, thank you very much for coming here and
Yes.
speaking with us and giving us all your creative ideas.
Yes. And if
I
I
really
think
do
of anything
appreciate it.
else, I'll write it down. And if you guys think of anything, feel free, you could brainstorm anytime.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
It's fun being in a room full of design people. I'm never in a room full of design people.
Speaking of design, I didn't get any feedback on wireframes.
Oh,
If you have any, now's the time.
that's good.
See ya.
Thank you.
I'm gonna come back and drop off my car, but yes. Too, that's it, very long. Nice.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
You're gonna be set free? Yeah.
I didn't get a tool for that. It wasn't so long we got rent.
Obviously, the biggest thing that I need help with is copywriting, because I'm a terrible copywriter, so anything
You
that.
sure you don't want to go with body text or whatever you'd
I
like
mean,
to
it's-
say? No, that's totally fair. Yeah, no, we can, I'm working on that. All right.
The submissions must be received by I know you have that date.
I mean,
I know you did, but, remember, I thought we were trying to do like this rolling thing where we're not, we're gonna keep it really loose.
I think that.
So however, we can just,
Yeah.
yeah, or like send your submission out.
Yeah.
Like generic. If
Yeah,
we
we
can
can always
meet it.
have a banner above once we're getting close to
Yep.
last chance.
Um, So are you looking for, do you want feedback now from us?
No, I was.
Okay.
Yeah, no, take those with you,
All right,
give feedback,
give
for next
feedback.
meeting, or email it to me, that's fine too.
And then perhaps let's take some suggestions about whatever the task force, maybe not toolkit, sorry, marketing toolkit. And the call for, what do we call it? The copy that we keep talking about.
Oh, for the, email list, is that? Yeah.
So that's our first task, is advertising that our website is going to be launched.
Mm-hmm.
Call to action.
Call to action. Yeah. So do you want to email to the
Municipal flag task force at Albany, New York.
Yeah.
.gov, yeah.
or
And
me or
even
whoever?
in that toolkit, what I think she's talking about too is all of the, like the FAQ is a lot of it, but anytime that they want to post on social media or they're leaning on any other Albany organization, is that we have all those pre-built talking points so that like each stage of the thing, they just pull from what we've already approved and say, but yeah, we have the press kit built all the way through hypothetically January of every stage of if X, then, plug this in, right? And I think we can submit everything and have at least a rough draft of something to look at next month.
Yeah, because I think by next month, it's going to be June and
Right.
we really got to be.
Exactly. And we'll have a testable website.
Yeah.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
Is there any benefit to meeting sooner than a month?
That's great. Yeah. That's a Carly question.
Just, is there any benefit to meeting
Sooner
sooner than?
the month, so that way we can maybe get our handle on marketing stuff.
Yeah,
We'll have a
I
little bit
mean,
better handle on.
it's up to you guys.
Especially if the website's gonna be potentially ready in 2 weeks, that we could all kind of look at it. And
Yeah,
So that makes
so
ton of
Memorial
sense.
Day, and then we can look at the week of, we can look at that week, the 26th to the 29th, and then go the 1st to the 5th. It kind of mainly depends on whether or not this room's available. Again, worst case scenario, if you guys pick a date that we all settle on and this room is available, I'll block off the chambers. Cause I also schedule up there, so it's like I could just,
Maybe can we do it's the last week of legislative session, so.
Yeah.
I don't know.
yeah, you can do it.
And what's the
Then-
viability?
Zoom that one? Could just Zoom.
I was gonna say, what's the viability of that?
So that's what we talked about. The second meeting that we talked about, the Zoom is per like New York State meetings law, it's more for whether or not somebody is ill and like unforeseen circumstances in that regard.
Yeah.
It's not for if you're like traveling for work or X, Y, and Z. We're looking at maybe amending that actually.
So to be legit, we
see
have
in a
to
month.
meet in person is what I'm hearing. We could do like a virtual work session.
The meeting person.
I mean, here's what I also can say, like, if you guys meet with less than a quorum, if you meet like 3 at a time, that's not the end of the world, but.
Let's keep picking 2 people out of the Zoom call.
Yeah, you guys can like do like a carousel.
Come back when you're edits in 20 minutes.
And if I catch word that you didn't do it, I'll have to sue myself, so. For not to.
Well, let's go with we're gonna have a regular meeting, would be June 8th, I
8th.
believe.
Mhm.
And then let's evaluate whether or not, see, if we can poke around the website separately, and then if you just mail to so I guess we should mail to the any comments that we have on how to craft the toolkit and the press kit. And then we can just see where we're at with what the feedback we get. Right?
Yeah.
I think we all have an idea of what it is. I don't know that we need we don't need a formal resolution or motion. Press kit. So,
Absolutely not.
so if we get something, you know,
Yeah.
we can kind of all see.
We could do it via email, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right? We had email amongst ourselves, like, what?
Okay.
Yeah, again, it's like you shouldn't be emailing with all 7 of you or even 4 of you.
Yeah.
You can BCC and,
Even if it's a working situation, not a making decisions situation.
it's tough because it alludes to if you are working, are you not making decisions on anything while you're,
Of consequence, probably not.
Yeah.
It's marketing stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
This is it.
Have some of the cattle pro, no, that's too much of a decision.
Okay, so we all have homework again. We actually have to do our homework.
Yeah, yeah, that's
Okay.
We're supposed to
Yeah.
have for this meeting.
All right, fair enough. We know our next meeting is June 8th,
Mhm.
5:30. And is there a motion to adjourn?
Do we have any business?
Oh, sorry. Did not. The only other discussion I guess we could have is, are we gonna let minors, you wanna just have this discussion? We're gonna have minors, or let's make the cutoff 13 years old?
To submit a vote.
To submit?
Or do you want to
with a
research
parent?
how many, what?
I did look it up.
Oh, you did look it up?
13, yeah.
Okay.
13 is like, don't collect data from anybody under 13.
Yeah.
I guess, can you make a checkbox that if you're under 13 or?
Yeah, like your parent, because like every time you're like on a website, it's like, that's the thing too, like I wasn't allowed to make a Facebook when I was 13, but of course I did,
Yeah.
because I checked off the box. But then it's like, you guys are then absolved. legally.
Yes, yes.
So I can talk to more about the lawyer regarding that. It's tough because it's like, what happens and what constitutes? Exactly.
But just from the task force perspective, it's
Mhm.
13 are good.
I'm
goal.
good with that,
Yeah.
voting
Is that
and,
our mutual
yeah,
goal?
Yeah.
Okay.
for voting, and submissions can be any age, right?
Well, we can't
It's about-
Can't collect data from under 13.
consent of the parents. But it's like the old cereal commercials back on TV with the cartoons, just ask your parents to go to this website.
Right.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay.
So just, is that, like, on the website, it just needs to say, if you're under 13, please have a parent submit this for you? Okay, I'm cool with that.
Check here. if you were-
Guardian.
If you were 13 or over.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Karen.
So if you guys take a look at week 5, is essentially the chaperone, everybody tests out. So